Hi, I'm Kurt and Ryley, Paralympian, and I'm coming to you from a Wabakal country.
And I'm Paralympian Riley Bat, and I'm broadcasting from Gubby Gubby Land.
This is You Little Ripper, the place where we celebrate all things parasport. We're back for season 3. Riley Bat, I hear that you're the current Australian champ for adaptive CrossFit and 4th in the world. Mate, not a bad rebirth of the athlete, the legend that is.
Oh, thanks for bringing that up, Kurt. Yeah, mate, it's been quite the off-season coming off the back of world champs last year, being a world champion in wheelchair rugby, and I thought, you know what, let's have a go at this CrossFit and finish that off for the year.
Mate, tell us, it is an emerging sport. We are getting to start to see athletes targeting adaptive CrossFit. Give us a bit of background about the sport.
So CrossFit is a sport with sort of functional movement, high intensity. I like all the movements. Everyone looks at it and just thinks it's weightlifting. But to be honest, I don't like the weightlifting side of things. I like the cardio, the gritty part of it. And Kurt, you know that because I put you through a bit of a workout once and we both love that gritty hard work and we both love it. We froth off it. So this adaptive CrossFit now that's being introduced worldwide, I've got on board with it and absolutely loved it because it's finding your abilities. It's pushing your boundaries of what movements you can and can't do with your body. And, you know, I've learned so much about my body. I'm 33 years old, but in the last 2 years, I've learned more about my body and what I can do training than I have for 20 years of playing wheelchair rugby, I guess.
Mate, I love it. I think it's a great new initiative, and anything that gets people with disabilities more involved, engaged in sport, engaged in community, I'm all for it. So, but congratulations. We're celebrating all things parasport. That is now all things parasport, and it's wonderful to have you back. Mate, this is the first episode of the year, so I think it'd be great if you could remind us or remind the listener what the You Little Ripper moment is.
Yeah, mate, a You Little Ripper moment is something that's happened, not necessarily a win, but something that's made you shout, You Little Ripper. Kurt, you can kick us off, mate. What is your You Little Ripper moment?
My You Little Ripper moment is the great Benny Tudhope. The Paralympic movement lives in Benny Tudhope's soul, a great winter Paralympian, and he won gold and a bronze medal at the Cortina World Cup in the para snowboarding cross event. Riley Bat, what about you?
Mate, mine is going to have to be the great man, Eric Horry. He has smashed the world record during his national selection of the 5 kilometre rowing ergo time trial in Brisbane, shaving 9 seconds off his personal best. So Eric now holds 11 of the 13 erg records. And mate, 5K, smashing the world record. I don't even think I could row 5K.
Like it's another one of those variations to sport where we're able to create something that it has been around for such a long time, but with the technology to be able to link people across all of the ergos, it's one of the areas in sport that I think is really positive going forward. That although you can do this in your back shed, you know, or you can do this at the local council, you can do this at the local gym. It can engage in community where you are, but have such a wide impact around the world. A 5K on the ski ergo sounds like torture. I can already feel my lower back cramping.
Well, Kurt, you said you can do it in the back shed, so maybe we can both get a row ergo each, and we can have a tackle of it and see who's the faster rower. What do you reckon?
No, Riley, I have no interest in that. You would smash me, and I think the days of me punishing myself is well and truly after. But I tell you what, you can do it, and I'll watch from the side and cheer. Talking about cheering from the sidelines, it's been a big couple of months in parasport where both you and I have been cheering on for the sidelines. Riley Bat, one of those events close to your heart, best of the rest.
Yeah, mate, the best of the rest is quite difficult at the moment. There is so many amazing stories from, let's call it the You Little Ripper off-season, all right? You know, from the end of season 2 to the start of season 3. But one stands out in my mind, and that is the great man, Chad Perris, who is officially Australia's fastest ever para-athlete. He clocked a 10.65 in the 100 metre at the ACT State Championships. A 10.65, Kurt. That is phenomenal.
10.65, incredible. I shared a room with Chad Perris, the White Tiger in Rio in 2016, a consummate professional, but he is one of the most really charismatic and great personalities of the movement. Fastest ever Paralympian, para-athlete, great work. best of the rest. Mate, I am off to, of course, wheelchair racing and the Ausday 10K.
Of course.
A big win for two Australians on Australia Day, 10 kilometres around the rocks. Madison De Rosario would win her 9th Ausday 10K, but we also had the first time Sam Rizzo is now the men's Ausday 10K champion, clicking off for the first one. May he reign as long as Madison De Rosario. May we see him get up towards the end of the 10 straight wins as well. But I love that. The You Little Ripper off season, there is plenty happening. Plenty happening. One sport also is Boccia. There is a huge movement and incredible successes coming from the Australian bocce team. We have one of the greats, one of the all-time greats, but also the current greatest boccia player in the world, Dan Michel. Welcome to You Little Ripper.
It's awesome to be back, Kurt.
Mate, how does it feel ranked number one in the world as BC3 pairs and also number one in the individuals with Ash McClure and Amanda Leeson? She's been a hell of a road to get there, mate, but how does it feel from the top of the world?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's an awesome feeling, Kurt. It's been a long journey for me personally, but with Jam and Amanda and Ash, it just feels a whole lot more rewarding, I think, doing it as a team too. So we've been building for a long time, and to finally climb the top of the mountain now, it's a fantastic feeling.
Dan, you're now the player with the target on your back. Everyone's going to be coming for you. How are you going to deal with that mentally?
Look, I think it's not something I dwell on a lot, honestly, Riley. Like for me, throughout my whole career, I've always just really had a focus on improving kind of day in, day out and trying to be a better bocce player kind of every training session. And that has never really changed. And I really can't say that I pay too much attention to the rankings and to results in general. And I really like to just sort of pride myself on my body of work and kind of my improvement over time. So for me, if I can just keep being a little bit better every day and, from what I know my game is to try and take the next step as much as I can, I'll be really happy with that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting, now being kind of the guy that everyone's looking out for. But, yeah, in terms of how I'll approach it, I don't think it'll be too different to how I've done it my whole career.
But the Paralympics are they're in 2024. I can't believe we're in 2023 already. But this is a qualifying year for Paris. What events do you have your eyes on?
There's a couple of really big ones this year. So the priority will be the regional championships in May over in Hong Kong. So if we can go there and win that event, we'll get direct qualification to Paris. So, that would make things a bit easier. But aside from that, we've also got a couple of World Cups. So firstly over in Montreal in the end of April, and then towards the back end of the year in Portugal. So, probably 3 events. And, focus will definitely be on that regional championships.
Dan, I'm going to swing it back to the number one. I just can't get over the number one. You're number one in the world. I'm sorry. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And what I want to know is, looking back on your career, think of a couple of years ago. You're in the trenches. You're fighting hard. You're coming up the ranks. Did you ever believe that number one was going to be possible?
I always had that kind of in the back of my mind as probably the most important thing for me to achieve in my career was to kind of be recognised as the best at what I do. That's something that I really wanted to achieve, more so even than a Paralympic gold medal. I mean, obviously that's still yet to be ticked off and something I really want to do now. But above that was to try and get to that top spot and not just get there, but to hold on to it and kind of create a bit of a legacy up there as being the best kind of to do it over a period of time. And so, it was honestly just, as you said, it's been a long journey for me. I've been playing now for Australia for nearly 10 years. It's 10 years this year, actually. So it's been a long time and it takes some time in boccia to become really good. So I'm just really proud of how I've sort of been committed to the process and haven't really wavered in my belief in myself and in my team and in my sort of training program. And it's just a testament to kind of the old saying that hard work pays off, I think.
Mate, here at You Little Ripper, we like to pride ourselves on that we give a complete picture of the Paralympic movement. Can you throw out a few names that we need to be looking out for in an international perspective, but also some up and coming Aussie athletes that are pushing you for the competition nationally as well?
For sure. Well, we're going to start with Jamison. I think she's now sort of getting to the stage in her career where she is a much more experienced athlete and someone who's really making waves at the international level. And in December last year, we're at the World Championships, and she managed to come second individually, which was just a massive, massive achievement for her. She'd never won a medal before that, so to go to the Worlds, the biggest event outside of the Paralympic Games, and to come second was just a phenomenal effort. So I think we're going to see some really special things from her on the female side of the competition. But more, from my side, we've still got Spencer, my old teammate, guy from Tokyo, and he'll be pushing to qualify for Paris as an individual. And he's a fantastic player, and I think he deserves a lot of success. He puts a lot of time and effort into the sport. So they're probably the two still for now domestically that are really promising. But internationally, it's such a competitive sport. I always say, I think, in my opinion, it stacks up as well as any other sport, in the Paralympic or other side of things in terms of just the competitiveness of it. So there's players from everywhere. Korea, Greece, Great Britain, Portugal, Japan, Thailand. It really is a global sport, and every match now is 50-50. You never know, so you got to approach every match, with that mentality. So yeah.
Now, to the viewers at home, they might not know that Dan and his beautiful wife, Jess, tied the knot last year. So I've got a bit of a curly question for you, Dan. And be careful, all right? What was a better moment? Your wedding day or getting number one in the world?
Oh, I know she's going to listen to this, so I've got to be careful for sure. No, look, it was an amazing month. We had Rio, the World Championships in early December, and then we literally flew back on the 17th and got married on the 23rd. So, it was honestly probably the best month of my life in terms of obviously success on the court, and then amazing success off the court too. So, and she also says hi, Kurt, by the way. So,
mate, my old man, it's such a period of time. Whenever life changes, the agitation that you give to sport changes. So whether you're going through periods that you're happy, are you a better player? Sometimes you need that real agitation, that drive that you've got to improve. Has it affected your game? The change in relationships and the change in life?
Honestly, I think it has. It's affected it, but in a good way. I think it's been a positive influence for me. I think based on really where I'm at with my career, I really feel like I'm in a space now where I've done so much to the foundational work to become a competitive international athlete, and I really feel like now I benefit a lot from having a really good sort of training life balance. So yeah, if I can, come home and be able to switch off a little bit and decompress kind of from training and just, take a little bit of a backseat mentally as much as I can, I feel like I can take the court in a more refreshed way. And I also think, to be honest, I think it's going to go a long way to prolonging my career as well and making sure I don't burn out too much mentally and make sure I'm able to still be a competitive athlete in a few years' time as opposed to maybe, spending it all in the shorter period of time.
Yeah, Michel, congratulations. We're so proud of you. We're following everything that you do here at You Little Ripper. We cannot wait to see what you bring us in 2023 and beyond. But thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Great to talk to you guys.
Ryley, what a great man. Does it get any better than Dan Michel?
Oh, Dan's just an absolute legend. A legend around, like I remember in Tokyo at the Village, and just everyone wanted to talk to him. He's just such a caring guy and just so down to earth. And, like I watched him go play Boccia over there. I was very lucky to be allowed out of the Village to go watch him play Boccia. Obviously no one was allowed in the crowd, so it was pretty quiet in there, but I got to watch him, and he is just at the top of his game. It's just unbelievable to see some of the shots he can pull out.
true competitor. Ryley, an announcement of the retirement of another real competitor of the Paralympic movement.
Yeah, it's sad, mate. I don't like to hear of a Paralympic retirement, but I guess, look, they've contributed to the sport. They've represented their country, and they're moving on to other things, bigger and better things. Maybe, I don't know if anything's better than the Paralympic movement, but other things. So we got Australian Paralympian Jonathan Gulak. He's hanging up his goggles. He's hanging up his bike. His runners. He's announcing his retirement from para triathlon. Jonathan, here at You Little Ripper, we wish you all the best in your future.
Yeah, what a legend of a bloke. A big contribution to the movement, no doubt a big contribution to society as a whole when he turns his momentum into the wider community. We also had a sad announcement here at You Little Ripper. One of our founding fathers, our founders of the movement here in this country is Kevin Cunningham. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was one of just 12 athletes who represented Australia at the very first Paralympic Games in Rome in 1960, and we stand on the shoulders of the great ones that come before us, and we salute you at You Little Ripper, and thank you for all of the hard work that was put into play so that we could be who we are today. And you, our podcast listeners, thank you for joining us for our first episode back of season 3. We love parasport, and we want to share how amazing it is with the rest of the world, but we need your help to do that.
Yeah, we need you all to tell your friends about what we are doing here, and please leave us a review.
Nice review. Only 5 stars in those reviews. And we'll be back with more interviews with your favorite athletes to make sure you followed You Little Ripper wherever you get your next episode.
And we'd also like to say a huge thank you to Toyota for supporting this episode of You Little Ripper. Oh, what a feeling. Thanks, Toyota.
You Little Ripper!